This is brought to you by Full Sail University. Hey everyone, I'm going to offer up my take on Saints Row 4. This is something that I've wanted to do, but let me caution you all, this cannot happen all the time. It requires advanced copies of games, multiple advanced copies of games, and ample time for another person to actually play something through to completion. But in the case of Saints Row 4, that was possible. Let me just first tell you, go watch Max Scoville's review. I love his review. It's also going to go into a lot more detail about how the game plays and all that stuff. I'm not going to reiterate stuff that's already available out there. I just thought I'd just kind of have an addendum, for lack of a better word. So I really love this game. Inspired lunacy is probably the best way to describe it. You don't know where the game is going to go, but you don't care. It's like having a crazy person drive you down the street and you're more than happy to smash into a wall. The part that I don't think I expected to enjoy as much as I did is the movement through the world, what the superpowers allow you. There's going to be a lot of comparisons to Crackdown, and those are very valid comparisons. Max said it perfectly. Probably one of the biggest issues that ever exists in an open world game is getting from point A to point B, because it's at point B that you start doing the thing that you wanted to do in the first place. I kept on forgetting about point B in playing this game because I was more than happy to go flying and gliding around and jumping over a building and kind of smashing into things, smashing into the ground. Once again, it is like Crackdown in that kind of strange, addictive quality. And you do have objects that you want to collect, which will help upgrade your powers. It seems to all work out in a perfect feedback loop. But there really is an innate pleasure in what the movement controls are like through the game, and I think I sometimes forget how you're interacting with that game, what you're doing with the sticks and the buttons really hones in on that sense of pleasure, that way that you stay engaged with the game, and Saints Row 4 really hits that nail right on the head. So the game is funny, but there's more of a serious side, or a serious way that they seem to use the humor in the game. And when you're dealing with a lot of sex jokes, when you're dealing with a lot of drug talk, the temptation for it to move in a particular direction that can become unpleasant and maybe a little alienating to players out there, none of that happens in Saints Row 4, and that is something that really is worthy of praise. It's a great deal of discipline in the writing, in the understanding of the tone, and I think at the end of the day, an affection for the characters and for the world that really allows it to kind of play out. You can play whoever you want, be it race, be it gender, be it sexuality, and that inclusiveness really does translate to something that feels kind of adult and joyous all at the same time. And it really, as naughty as it got, I felt so good about laughing every moment of the way. It's definitely not for kids, and it's really fun for a bunch of adults to get in the room and have a really good time. There's one other part of the game that I find fascinating. I don't want to say this is a critique. The Steelport that you play in is a simulation of Steelport. Zinyak, the aliens in the game, they have pretty much transported all the Saints into a computer program. It's a lot like the Matrix. Trust me, it invokes the Matrix a lot. And as the Matrix liked to invoke the French philosopher Jean-Paul Baudrillard and his sense of simulacrum and things trying to represent other things, I couldn't get out of my head how the game, the normal Saints Row game, is already a simulation of a city. And now you're in a simulation of a simulation of a city. And it had a really odd effect, where that kind of innate sense of naughtiness that you get in these urban open world games, Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row being the two most common ones, where you feel like it's somehow real or it's grounded by the rules of actual society. So when you run people over, when you smash someone over the head with a bat, there's that sense of adult, like, ooh, gosh, you look over your shoulder to see if anyone's watching, if you're actually getting in trouble. When you add the second level of simulation in it, I didn't feel it. I really read the game as something that was just a simulacrum. And as a result, with my superpowers and the kind of destruction and mayhem that I could cause, you see it all visually represented there on the screen. But that one little touch, that thing that probably we shouldn't talk about when we play video games, but really is a layer of pleasure that we get by doing things in a virtual world that you should never do in the real world, well, that pleasure was not as present. In its place is something that's very fun to play. But from, I guess, more of an interactive and philosophical position, I've never seen a game do that, and I don't know if it necessarily brought me all the glee that it could have. Also, I would like to acknowledge our sponsor, Full Sail University. If you're watching this, I assume you enjoy playing video games, but have you ever considered making them? Whether you're interested in programming, art and animation, story creation, or even producing games, there's a game degree program at Full Sail University to fit your needs. Full Sail grads have worked on titles such as Red Dead Redemption, the Call of Duty series, and more. If you're looking for an online program, Full Sail's Game Art and Game Design bachelor's degree programs utilize Full Sail's immersive education platform, giving you the ability to earn your degree from anywhere in the world. Go to fullsail.edu/rev3games to learn more. All right, so those are my little thoughts on Saints Row 4. Like I said, I don't know if we can do this all the time, but we are going to make some efforts for me, Max, and Tara to give just a second opinion, an addendum on something that we're all chattering about down there in the comments.